What's going on, everyone? Kelly Cavallero here, one half of 7 Arrow Media, and welcome to today's edition of the Honky Tonk Highway, episode 34. Thank you guys for tuning in so far. Hope you're enjoying all the interviews. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We are currently live on both Facebook and YouTube. That way you can watch us anywhere you go, except for MySpace. For those out there wondering, I will not be going live via MySpace. So, don't forget tomorrow's interview. We're going to have 3 more guests. We're going to do a little roundtable just like last week. Tomorrow I got JP Potter back with me along with Trevor Thornton and Tim Perez. And we're going to be having a nice discussion on what's it going to take to get more of a younger crowd into line dancing at both the bar level and the event level. So hope you tune in for that. I think it's going to be a good conversation. Don't forget, send in your questions. I'll gladly ask as many as I can on screen, as long as we don't run out of time. So today's guest, without further ado, he's all the way from London, well, not quite London, a little bit more south, in England, in the middle of nowhere. They got really good fish and chips there, though. He won the World Dance Masters back in 2016, and then got to teach in 2017. Good friend of mine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim Johnson. What's going on, Timmy?
Evening, my man. How we doing?
Doing good. How you doing today, bud?
Not bad. Long time no speak, my friend.
I know I'm acting like I haven't just talked to you online for Fortnite for the last, I don't know how long.
I don't know. Don't tell anybody. Everyone's got this thing and thinks, there's lots of fitness involved and stuff.
like Kelly just commented, all we were missing is Daniel and the entire team is here.
Yeah, definitely.
So inside joke, if no one, for those who don't know, me, JP, Maj, Tim Johnson, and Daniel Trippett have been doing a little Fortnite gaming together lately in this whole quarantine. So spending lots of time together online. So,
dude, I've just clocked. I'm quite dark, so I'm going to go and switch my main light on because I look really dark. So
okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Because then, hopefully, I will look.
There you go. Now we can see that you're white.
Yes. Ta-da! There we go. That's better. Okay.
Jonathan Sack would like to know why you're wearing JP's hat.
This is my hat. This is definitely my hat. You can look back, pictures, videos. This. I wear this hat everywhere. I love this hat.
All right. So for those who don't know anything about you or don't know who you are, why don't you give us a little insight to how you got into the line dancing?
Yes. So in terms of instructing, that was since 2016, but from line dancing itself, I started when I was like 13 and been doing it for years. I am purely social. The only competition I've ever done was World Dance Masters choreography competition back in 2016. Lucky enough to won that alongside Gemma Ridyard. So we wrote a dance together and we won that. And then it's kind of gone from there. So in terms of the choreography bit, I mean, I just happened to, I've been quite lucky, really. It's kind of gone from one thing to the next, and then, it all kind of keeps leading on to one after the other. So from there, I then did a dance with Maggie called Strip That Down, which exploded and went everywhere, which was brilliant. Did Tick Tick Boom with Debbie and with my boy JP, which again went massive. And then there was, Hot Stepping, which did really well. I Love It Magusta, which did really well. And more recently, The Vibe. So I've done a few others in between that, but they're probably the ones that people have heard of and how they might know me. But in terms of the line dance scene, God, I've been at it for forever. Like I say, 13, I started going, and I actually went to a lot of the same places like Darren and Fred and well, not so much Shane because he's like 12, but Darren and Fred, Stacey White, Paul. But I didn't know those guys at the time because they were the competition scene and I was the social scene. So it's interesting now that I know them better and I've known them for a couple of years. There's certain places we've been at the same time but didn't know each other.
Connor would like to know when and how you plan to fulfill the bet you lost at Fred's wedding now that WDM 20 has been canceled. How come I did not know about said bet?
That's a really good question that I didn't want to answer. Thanks, Connor. Cheers, pal. So for those
you should have left it. Apparently, JP wants to know why your beard's not pink yet. Why does your beard got to be pink?
Listen, guys, it's the 28th of May. Okay, let me bring everybody up to speed. thanks, Connor, for now making it public so that I really have to do this.
Well, we
So
would have known it would
Fred's
have been public when you showed up with a pink beard at Masters.
Yeah, but Masters was cancelled. I was like off the hook, and he's dropped me straight back in. So Fred's wedding, right? Earlier this year, Fred's wedding, having a good night. I was with JP, so needless to say, a couple of drinks, as you do. And Shane had just brought out his beard, which looks suspiciously like mine. Shane, come on, feel free to admit it, my man. All right, I know it's a good look. So anyway, so I'm like, what's your beard? So we did an Instagram poll. Stupid idea. An Instagram poll that night. Who's got the better beard? Okay, he won. Okay, this is the disappointment face. I've had my beard for years, people. Come on, there's been a lot of work gone into this. Anyway, he won. So we made a bet before we did that whoever loses has to dye their beard pink for World Dance Masters. So Ooh. I lost. So what we need to do now, Connor, is have another event before Worlds next year, because conveniently people might forget, where I could do that. I'm quite happy to go with the pink. I lost the bet. I'm a man of my word. I will pink it up. I'm quite happy.
Connor, I say you just come to Florida in December, because I believe Timmy's going to be at Florida in December, and we can arrange to make his beard look like a flamingo.
Let's do that. Come to Florida. We'll do it at the Classic, and then that means I can have my week's holiday afterwards with a pink beard. Cheers, Skyans.
He did think that one through before he said, yeah, let's do it.
Well, no, we could do it on the Friday, and then hopefully I can wash it out by the Sunday, because, again, we had an agreement that I think it was Saturday night, Connor, if I remember, because we were like, it has to be on the main night. And we were actually going to do it for LDF as well. So, if you want to give some money and we'll make it a different color, that's fine.
Oh, crazy. This is what you get for drinking with JP. You
seriously, some of the stories.
You make bets and have to have your. You should have never went to an Instagram poll to try to go up against Shane McKeever. I'm sorry. You knew you should. You knew you'd
be fine. He's just been able to grow a beard. People are going to be like, yeah, no one's going to vote. Forgetting, of course, that it's Shane McKeever, and the people that are on the Instagram world, like mainly dance people. So they all love Shane.
Right, and he was just doing his TikTok videos with Jessica.
Yeah, so it was a foolish move.
You would probably been okay until he shaved his head. Once he had the.
No, if he had shaved his head at the time, I reckon I would have been in for a win. But he was still like rocking a similar haircut with the beard. There was I joke that this all started because I saw a picture of him in Denmark, which was the weekend before Fred's, and I didn't go. I was meant to go, and someone was scrolling through their pictures, and I was like, "Was that last year?" Because I genuinely thought it was me. And they were like, "No, they're shaved." I'm like, wow, it looked like doppelganger. So that's how the whole conversation started, because from the side, for a moment, I was like, I'm sure that's me. So annoying, though, that I didn't go to that Denmark event, because hindsight, I was like, I don't have enough holiday, got lots of stuff to do. Clearly have enough holiday now. Guess we've been inside for forever.
Nice. Chris would like to know, do you have a particular mentor in the line dance world that offers you advice?
Oh, I'm really lucky. I have a few. So first of all, there's loads of people I could sit and thank, because first of all, JP. So JP and I became really good friends. I knew JP before, but we became really good friends when I went to Stoke again in 2017. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to carry on with the choreography or not. I'd kind of done the competition thing, and I wasn't really sure. And he pushed me to write something with him, and that kind of kept me going, because he made me see that it doesn't have to be this crazy serious. You can have real fun with it. There's a whole story to that, which if we got time, I'll tell you through. That was a really fun night. And also, the wonderful Mr. Fred Whitehouse has been a huge support. Lots of advice. I did a bit of touring with him in 2017. I just said, look, do you mind if I come with you to a few events, see what it's really like behind the scenes? And he was great. He gave me his whole calendar for the year, and I basically looked where I could go in between work, and then went with him, and sort of he showed me the inside, as it were, of line dancing. So yeah, and Maggie Gallagher been a huge help. Jose, Daniel, I'm really lucky. I am.
You are, yeah. You definitely have a nice crew that you
Yeah,
you
I
get to hang out with over
very,
there.
very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, Jesse said she was not happy you missed Denmark.
I know, Jesse, neither am I. I cancelled it last minute, and I actually cancelled it, funnily enough, Kelly, because you and I should be hanging out right about now,
We
because, of
should.
course, we should have been in Marathon,
We should be
you know.
hanging out right about now in person, not
Uh,
over this call.
and that was actually the reason that I didn't go to Denmark, because Scott called me and was like, "Do you want to come and teach a marathon?" And I mean, what do you say to Scott Blevins other than yeah, and start running? I'd swim if I had to. But the only place that I could spare any holiday was if I cancelled Denmark. So reluctantly I did, because if you've never done the Denmark event, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, the hotel was amazing. It's on the beachfront. It's a spa hotel. It's yeah. It's
Yeah, I
it's out
got
of
the
this world.
Snapchats and the pictures that weekend from the girls,
Yeah,
from
yeah. It's good.
Kirsten and Yanni and everyone there. And I heard there was a pretty cool dance top by Shane McKeever that weekend.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I think that was the year before. There was a cool little dance. I think that someone we know did, like, with him. I don't know. It wasn't me.
So yeah, I was definitely want to eventually get over there. That'd be fun to go hang out with all of them.
Yes, man. That is one to add to the list. One to add to the list. So cool.
Yes, yes. So what's been your favorite dance that you've choreographed so far?
Mm. Um, I mean, there's a couple, and for different reasons. So Strip That Down was amazing, because getting to work with Maggie was just brilliant. Somebody who's been in the industry for ages, and it was really nice because she actually phoned me, which just blew my mind. Why Maggie? But to be fair, when going back to the previous question about people supporting me, whenever I've seen Maggie at events, she always used to say to me, "Are you teaching yet? Are you writing dances yet?" And I always assumed she was joking, just being kind. Um, and so when she saw that I'd won the competition back in 2016, I think it was early 2017, she rang me and said, "Look, I've got this track and I really want you to do it with me." And so I went and did it. And she gave me loads of great advice around choreographing. And, I was like, "Oh, we should do this and we should do that." And she like grabbed my hands and was like, "It's too hard. Make it easier." And which is, sensational advice, because of course that dance went everywhere. So I love that one. I love hot stepping, because that just went like wildfire. I wasn't really expecting that to take off the way it did. Um, I wrote it in my other half's kitchen. Actually, I've been listening to it in the car, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this." And when I posted the video, I woke up and I posted the video at like 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night after I taught at Lakeside, and I woke up and it had 2,000 views. And
Ooh.
I was like, "What?" Normally it's a couple of hundred, but if you're lucky. But it had 2,000 views and it gone everywhere, so that was really cool. But I think the number one is Magusta, because I wrote that dance whilst walking around. I went for a walk to clear my head. I was doing Festi Light last year, which was it's a really big event in France, and if you've never been, go, because it's amazing. And I was like, I really want something good, and I've been listening to that track over and over and over again, and I thought, "Oh, it's too hard, it's too hard, it's too hard. I can't do it. I can't break it out." And I didn't. It just literally came to me. As sad as that sounds, I just started doing the steps, and I did it all in one night. Yeah, and I'm just so proud of it, because people love that dance. It still fills the floor today. Um, and even reviewing it last week
Right.
on Streamline, people are still like, "Oh, I love this one. So pleased with doing it." And so yeah, I think probably those three, because it's difficult to pick one. It's like asking which one of your kids is the best. How do you do that? I mean, clearly my mum says me, but
About to say, wait a minute. Doesn't your mom usually say you when they're with you?
yeah. Shh. No, don't spoil the illusion. I'm just assuming she says me all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And aren't you? You're reviewing
Strip that
Strip That
down.
Down this Sunday, correct? Yes. That's why I thought that
Yes.
was
Yeah.
one. Once you remember it, you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I need to go and practice, because it's been a while. Yeah. Just to be clear, it makes no difference whether you write a dance or not. You still forget it like
Oh,
everybody
agreed.
else. It just comes back a bit quicker. That's all. You're like, "Oh yeah, I remember now." Because I must admit, I think the last time I danced it was actually in Windy. I think it was a Windy City, because it's you guys tend to hold on to dances a little bit longer than we do over here. They in Europe they tend to churn over a bit quicker. You guys are a lot better in that once it's if it makes it in America, it kind of stays for a couple of years, which is
Usually,
really cool.
yeah, usually lately they've been trying to keep them around a little bit longer. It all depends on when it gets taught a lot that I've noticed.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Chris wants to know what was the first line dance class you attended called?
The very first one was it was called Sidewinders. Um, Big shout out to Sue, who was teacher, and it was just around the road from where I lived. It was about 2 minutes around the road, and it was I think it was about £3, so £3 to go in.
Right.
And I went with a really good friend of mine who I grew up with, and he stopped dancing a few years ago, unfortunately. But uh, I can't even remember why I went. I mean, I remember him telling me it was a Friday night. We were walking home from school. I'd say I was 13. I just started secondary school, and he was like, "Oh, you should come. I'm going line dancing." And after I'd stopped laughing for about 20 minutes, I was like, "You want me to do what?" And I went to this class, and I remember thinking, "Oh my god!" Because back then, that was when everyone was like hats, buckles, and they had the little cowboy tie. And I remember walking in, I had like jeans, trainers. I'm like, what? Never danced in my life ever. Just a big fan of Michael Jackson. So I'm thinking, yeah, if I can learn to moonwalk. And then of course you go in and everyone like proper old school, thumbs in the buckles. And I remember feeling really awkward and didn't think I was going to go back. Don't know why I did. And I got my first dance. And the first dance I learned was called Soaking Wet. And it was probably about 16 counts long. And I loved it. That was it. I needed to learn everything and just teach me it all.
Crazy, crazy. I remember when you took me to your class when I came over in 2017. I
Yeah.
I didn't even make it in there 10 minutes, and Nigel thought I was Will Craig.
Well, yeah, I don't know whether that's a compliment. I don't know.
I was like, I texted Will. I remember texting Will. I go, I'm in a foreign country, not even in here 24 hours, and I'm already getting mistaken for you.
Yeah.
Didn't even last. I was like, oh, here we go.
I see Darren's put Whoop Whoop Country Days. Yes, Darren, I'm with you, mate. I'm absolutely with you. Back in like Black Coffee, Seven Nights to Rock.
Oh yeah, you're going old
What was?
school.
Oh man, what was the other one? There was one I really like, not Slapping Leather, where you did like the little cowboy hoop thing. I can't remember what it's called. Really fast track, loved it though. Like kick will change, toe strut. I can't remember what it's called. But I could do it. I could show you. But let's not do that. It's embarrassing.
Oh, so you've choreographed with tons of people out there. Debbie Rushton,
Yeah.
JP Maj, Rebecca Lee. Who's on your bucket list of people you still want to write with? You haven't got a chance to.
Oh man, everybody. I'm a bit. I watched your interview with Stacey and Paul, and I'm a bit like Paul. I'm very much doing this for the love. Dancing has given me so much in terms of friendships and travel and support. And for me, I just wanted to do something to give back. And all of these people were sort of prodding me and pushing me to go that you should do this, you should do this. And so it's there's so many people I'd love to work with because there's just some amazing talent out there. You could literally you could pick. Everybody's probably top 15. You could sit there and you could go Darren, Fred, Shane, Maddie, Rachel, all of those. But why wouldn't you?
Sure.
I think all these people are so talented in such unique ways, and it would just be great to do that. You and I need to do something. You've sent me some music.
We
It's
have.
my fault. I haven't. Yeah, it's my fault. I haven't sorted that out yet.
We've
But we will.
we've been busy
We'll
playing
do something.
Fortnite.
Been very busy playing Fortnite. I am rubbish at Fortnite, just for those of you out there. I constantly blow myself up. I'm really, really good at that. But we just send JP in, or JP sends himself in. But
Oh man. So what was it like winning World Dance Masters?
unreal, unreal. As I say, I've never competed. I nearly did competition a long time ago when I was about 22, and at the time I was working as an apprentice mechanic for a little Citroen garage, and I had known of Eclipse, and those in the UK will know, and back in UC days will know who Eclipse are. And I got a call from Cheryl Poulter saying, we really need some boys, want you to come do it. And I was absolutely over the moon because I'd always wanted to do that. And I thought with the team, I'd feel more secure because it's frightening. If you've ever stood out on a floor on your own, massive respect to competition dancers, because walking out on a floor on your own, let me tell you, there's nothing more frightening with everybody watching you. And I did 2 weeks, I got glandular fever. And then I ended up getting a job offer, which meant moving further away from where the practice was. It was more hours and it would progress my career. So I ended up picking a career over competition. And then the one competition that kept kind of going in my mind was the choreography one. And I remember bugging Gemma because Gemma had done competition before and she'd won loads of stuff. And I was like, I really want to do this. We should do this. We should do this. We should do this. So we did it and we wrote the dance. And yeah, man, it's surreal. I remember explaining it to a friend. I said, they said, what was it like? I said, the only thing I really remember of demoing the dance and walking up to win is smiling so much and your mouth going so dry through the nerves that my lip had stuck to my gum all the way up here. That's the only thing I remember of it, was being like, looking like this crazy, like, smiley person. But it was just incredible. It was just incredible. I would seriously suggest that if you're thinking about it, give it a go, because it's nerve-wracking. It really is nerve-wracking having, I remember having like Scott Blevins,
It is.
Debs, I think Dee was up there, all watching this dance that you've created. And, all these people have got amazing dancers under their belt. And, Scott, obviously, with Fungo Mad, that is
Right.
the biggest dance ever. And they're judging what you've done. And it is nerve-wracking, but it's brilliant. It's great. I really can't recommend it enough. It's so good. And it gave me my step. So
Yeah.
it's,
I remember when I
it's
competed there, it was like, oh, on top of all that, all these people watching it, I'm in a country where nobody really knows me. So literally,
yeah.
there had a handful of people in the crowd that knew who I was. That was definitely
Yeah, man, I felt for you. I mean, I was quite lucky because obviously there's people there and we were being cheered on because there
right.
people have come up to sort of cheer us on. So it must be really tough, going there with very few people and having to sort of demo your dance. But I have to say, it's as with everything World Dance Masters, it's only got bigger.
Oh yeah.
When I did it, it was quite a big competition when I did it, but the Spanish room was probably those that know the Spanish room, it's like the table was immediately around that floor was full, but that was it. Whereas last year,
Ooh,
I remember it going back to the bar. I was
yeah.
like, the choreography competition's become, it's become big news, and it's brilliant. And there was some great stuff. Mark, it was Mark that won it
Yeah.
last year,
Mark
wasn't it?
and
It
the
was
Welsh
last year,
3 won it last year.
yeah. And I remember watching it, and I even said, I was like, but it's because it was that, or there was one other. I said, because that just like blew up.
Yeah.
You could just tell. Watch the crowd. That will tell you where your winner is.
Yeah. Mark and the Welsh 3 won the non-country, and then Leeson Brixby won the country.
Yeah, and there's some amazing prizes. So
Yeah.
do it.
Leeson came over and got to teach at the Florida Classic, and Mark and the boys were supposed to come to Boston, and then originally was going to switch and come to Fun in the Sun, and now that got canceled. So there's no telling when we're going to see him over here now. So, but yeah, no, I remember they got down to the last. We went through. I think by the time it hit the 4th division, because they did because there's 6 divisions, 3 on each side. Rachel was having to sit there and cut it down to where it was only like 4 walls of each. Like it was.
Yeah, it was busy, man. It was busy.
It was crazy, absolutely crazy, because we were running so behind because there was that many entries. It was a lot. It was definitely insane this past year. So what? Where's been your favorite place so far that line dance is taking you to travel?
So many good places. So it depends what sort of thing you want. Obviously, New Orleans was insane. That was just brilliant. We had a great time there.
We did.
Again, lucky to be there with you.
We were.
And remember Fat Tuesdays and your words of wisdom in Fat Tuesdays, which I think was you're having a big one when we were going home. So that was really great. And New Orleans was an experience. I just loved that place. What an amazing place to be. But another completely contrasting that, I went to Finland with Fred, and we did their summer dance camp, they call it, and it was held in. I don't really know how to describe it. If you've ever done Centre Parks, it's a bit like that, but much more rural.
Okay.
So it was this beautiful campsite where you had your individual little house with its cooker and beds and front room TV, and then around you was just this just amazing, beautiful lakes and sports fields, and they had frisbee golf. But because it's in Finland, which is quite north, and we went in the summer, the sun doesn't actually set. So I
Oh,
remember coming out at 2 a.m. Yeah, and the sun was still up, and it was amazing. And they were like, "Oh, we're not going to bed yet," and they took Fred and I. So we went for this like walk into the woods, and I remember me and Fred were like joking, going, "Oh, we're about to be straight up murdered right now." And we just in this clearing was this huge teepee, and then we went in, and there was about 10 people in this teepee, and there was this huge fire in the middle, with this great big like cooking iron over the top. And we were just handed these massive sausages, and they were like, "Right, cook up some sausages." And we just sat there, and they were teaching us like camping songs, and we were cooking sausages. It was surreal. That was brilliant. And I was lucky enough to go to Estonia last year. And again, what an amazing place! What an absolutely amazing place! And some great places in France. Went to Bergerac in France. That's really nice. Yeah, loads and loads. I mean, loved Nashville last year. That was cool. And there's still so many places I want to go. But it's it's one of those things. It's like a drug. The more you see, the more you want to go and see, because you
right.
just know all of these places are going to bring these really cool things. And again, I'm really lucky to have friends like you, who know the area, and Shay, who knows the area. Whenever we come over to the States, she's like, "Oh, we're going to go eat here," and it's always amazing. And yeah, it's again, it's like choosing your kids. You can't pick one. You just can't pick one.
Sure, you can. You can always pick one. So, what is the one line dance that you wish you had choreographed?
Oh, probably. I mean, same answer I'm sure everybody's given, which is "Have fun, go mad," because it is just the most timeless. Everybody gets it. Doesn't matter if you're a competition dancer, you've just started, you've been in it for years. Everybody seems to either know this dance or still want to learn it. And I don't know any other dance that has done that. I genuinely can't think of one that has that much staying power. Like there's the one that get played at midnight, and everyone's like, "Oh, like AM to PM," that kind of sticks around. But again, it's a much smaller crowd. Whereas you could play "Have Fun, Go Mad" at the doors opening at like 7 o'clock, and you'd have a full floor. Or you could play it at 4 a.m. with the diehards, and it would probably get everybody up. I don't know how Scott has written just probably one of the most legendary dances somehow with that. So good. So good. So that one. I'll take that.
Marianne wants to know what's your favorite alternative track for that song. For that,
I like the the Eminem one
Eminem's
that they play.
"Shake That."
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Shake That. That's cool. But I quite like the original. I don't know why. It just, I like the original.
Hmm. Okay.
The original's cool. Really cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to get this question out of the way because I usually wait till the end, but I'm kind of curious where you're going to go with it. Money was no object. Where would you hold an event? And who would be your
I'm so
first
ready
five?
for this.
What you were? So you're ready for this, huh?
I'm so pleased you've asked, Kelly.
So he brings out a notepad and paper. Who's this remind you of, Stacy and Paul?
Okay, so no, I this is like everyone else has been. It's been lowballing this because money is no object. They're like, "Oh,
finally,
yeah,
I think I want to have someone that's going to hit it on the head.
Okay, so first of all, let's be straight, right? Dance weekend, everybody wants to have a good time. Now, they might want to drink, they might not, but nobody's going to drive. So first thing that's going to happen is everybody's going to get picked up by a taxi, or let's just go exciting, let's go chauffeur. So you're going to be picked up, right? That's going to take you to your local international airport. At each of those airports, I'm going to have a party liaison officer. So if you're going from over in Geneva, it's going to be my boy JP. If you're going from Heathrow, it'll be like me and Dan. And so there'll be someone to pick you up. Everybody is then going to fly over to Vegas. Okay, everyone from UK and Europe is going to go a day before because I know what it feels like to have jet lag and then be pulled out by certain people on a night out, Kelly.
Hey,
when you get there, having been up for 24 hours, and then be like, "Yeah, come on, let's get on the drinks." Anyway, So we're all going to arrive in Vegas, and we're going to have a couple of days in Vegas. It's going to be like in the Bellagio, main bit, like, giving it the biggins. And then it's going to get really good, because then what we're going to do is this dance. It's not just a weekend; it's a dance month. And what we're going to do is it's going to be Winnebagos, and you have to need to pick six of your best dance buddies. All of these Winnebagos are chauffeured, and we're gonna do Route 66, and we're gonna stop off at different places and have a party at each one. Oh yeah. It's not
Okay.
as I've thought about it or anything.
Now that you haven't thought about this or not. Okay, now the hard part. Who's the first five instructors you're inviting?
See, again, this is easy, because I'm going to do what everyone else has done, where they're like, oh, well, Roy and Fiona are one. So using that logic, the boys from Streamline are one. So therefore, JP, I'll say. That's one. I've got Shenanigans, because, there needs to be a party up in here. So, Paul and Stacey, they're coming. And then again, if you watch most videos of Fred and Shane, what's the one everyone watches? Your one, where they're Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So again, they're one. So, we're at three now, and I've got all these great people. And then you've got, you need some real people. And again, much like your interview last night, Mags, Gary, they come as one. So they're my four. And then Rachel and Madison, because, why not? If I'm pairing people up, I might as well. So I think that's quite a cool five, or maybe 10, that I've managed to somehow calculate.
He picks five people and we end up with 11 people.
Yeah, it's fine. It's five. I'm good at maths. Maths is hard.
That's that Gatwick education.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I had a good
man,
education.
that cracks me up. So for those who future come on the show and don't answer this question, take notes. He studied. He came
Yeah, man.
prepared.
Money is no object. Because I was going to go with like private jet, but I figured dancing on a jet is quite difficult.
Eh,
Winnebagos, you can do the road trip. Everyone can sit, have a drink. It would work. Right? It would work. I could private jet people over to Vegas, maybe. I
there we
don't know.
go. I'm game for that. Jesse says, "Can you have a Mercedes pick her up, please?"
Absolutely, absolutely. S class. Would you like an S, or should like an SUV? Should we go like G? Because I've got connection in Mercedes. We can do this.
Oh man! So why don't you tell everybody what do you do when you're not line dancing?
So most people know me for cars, because I used to be a sales manager for MB, hence me taking the mic, and I see Jesse taking it, saying, "No wonder you're a sales manager." Oh yeah. But now I am a business development manager. So I changed career about 3 years ago, mainly to do more with this. So as the line dancing picked up and the choreography, I wanted to spend more time, getting into this world, and being able to travel more. But that meant having to have 3 weekends. And anybody that knows the motor industry well, its main lifeline is the weekend. So it's very difficult to get a weekend off. And I really fancied a career change. So what I do now is as a business development manager, and I work for a company selling electric vehicle charging points.
Huh.
So I am one of two that do the role that I do. And between myself and a chap called Steve, we travel up and down the UK, and we visit public and private customers, so like councils, and putting in chargers there, and or private customers that can range from a guy that owns a business unit somewhere and he wants one charger, to somebody like Microsoft, where we'll go and stick in 100 chargers, for example. So if you want to see the company I work for, anybody that's in the UK, goes for Morrison's, the big electric chargers in there. That was a deal I did about 2 years ago. And they're still coming out now. So that's what I do. It takes up an awful lot of my time, but it's fun. It pays the bills.
Except for come 5 o'clock UK time, because then it's all about video games.
Absolutely. At the moment, because I can't go and visit anyone, so my job is pretty limited right now. I can only answer emails,
Right.
phone calls. I'm doing some bits internally for them, which is not as exciting as my normal role. But normally, I'm driving up and down the country. Ask the girls from Lakeside. Monday I'll be in Leeds. Like Tuesday I'll be over in Wales. Wednesday I'll be in London. It's ridiculous sometimes. Do a lot of
Nice.
miles.
Um, I'm going to ask this next one. This comes from your boy.
No, I read that. I was thinking, don't read that one.
Can you do us all a favor to the ladies here and stand up and turn around and teach? Apparently,
Bro,
JP wants to show your butt off.
bro. No, it's a solid no, my friend. It's a solid no.
You
Why
heard it
have you
here,
got to bring
Church
the... So
JP. He says no.
there is a standard joke about my peach
Well,
because
consider
it is
Marianne just
peachy.
chimed in and said apparently you can pull off a pair of leather trousers. Uh,
No, no,
so
she
pink
can.
beard leather trousers. Are y'all trying to remake the Village People?
Let me tell you the story. I can tell you why she's lined herself up because I'm talking and she's not. When we did Stoke, Marie is amazing. Love Marie. Very talented, great fun if you don't know her. But she got, oh man, she had a few drinks at Stoke and she had these
Marie never.
like tight leather trousers. I mean, they were tight, and she was even taking the out of herself with them. And she decided to try and make a drum out of these leather trousers. To this day, I can't tell you why she thought they'd make a good drum. It was honestly, I've got a video of it. Man, it's hilarious. She's just so drunk, like slapping different bits of her leg and her bum, going, "Is this a better noise? Is that a better noise?" I get into some strange situations, Kelly.
So
You know
how
this.
did how did we go from her turning her leather trousers into a drum, turning to you putting them on?
I didn't put them on. I don't know where this has come from. I couldn't put leather trousers. I can barely get jeans on.
Oh,
Yeah, see, Shay's got my back. See, you walked into that one, Marie. Yes, you did. Yes, you did with your leather trousers on. You did walk
Chris
into
wants to
that one.
know if do you teach anywhere other than Lakeside?
No, I don't. And it would be great if I could, but again, time is really against me because it's fine all the time I'm here, as Kelly knows, because I can get on Fortnite at like 5, 5:30. But normally I'm traveling back, so there are some nights at Lakeside I need to be there for sort of 7, 8 o'clock, and sometimes I don't arrive till half 8, 9 because I'm driving back from somewhere.
Right.
But the only reason we teach actually at Lakeside at the moment is because Nigel, who takes that class, had a hip replacement at the end of last year, and so myself, Jenny Wolfries, and Jess Cousins took over from him and sort of split the teaching between us. Um, and I think we're going to carry on, probably splitting it between the four of us because I think Nigel enjoys a bit of freedom, but I'd love to see Nigel come back and do a bit of teaching as well because he's very good at it and we miss him. And I hope he's all right actually because we haven't seen him in ages. So I'm sure he's all healed up now. He's probably start dancing again.
Yeah, that'd be good. Um, what is one event that you have never been to, either as just as a dancer or as a choreographer to work it? Would you like to go to?
To work it or just go or either?
Either one.
I'd love to do Vegas. I'm going to get there. Vegas is very much on my radar. And I always keep an eye on Diane and Sandy's events because you know what they're like.
Yep.
They could be, they were whispering about Hawaii once. Diane, I'm waiting for that. And if you need a choreographer, you just pick the phone up. I'm there. I'm there, especially for Hawaii. But yeah, there's still some in the UK I want to do. I want to do Newcastle. Everyone always talks about Big Dave Newcastle, and for some reason it always ends up falling out of my calendar. I think it's because it's normally around you have like World Dance Masters, then Windy City, which are like staples in my dance diary. They're ones I really want to go to. And I think it always happens after that, and I always forget to book time off. So I must. That's another one I really want to do. Is Dave's Newcastle event because everybody says that's the New Line event up there. It's really cool. Up in the tune.
Awesome. JP wants to know where would you like to be in 5 years?
I was gonna say something really rude then. Well, I like to what in terms of my dancing, I guess. I mean, I would love to just be recognized a bit more. This is all still really new in my eyes, and it's crazy because I obviously have a full-time job and I don't have any intention of giving that up. So I just want to do this part-time. So I keep saying to myself, if I could just get a few solid bookings a year, to some of the good events, that would be great. But then there's another part of me that goes, what does success look like in this? It's like being like Fred and Shane who are booked up for years on end. But I don't want to I
Right.
don't want to be that level. And so it's crazy. I guess just at a point where, you know, my dances are being done. I have no intention of really taking over the world, but just being known for good dances, you know, having a good chat and having a bit of a laugh. It's to me, I'm all about the social scene, and if my dances make people smile and they enjoy it, and we can have a laugh, when we're there, and it brightens up someone's day, then that's why I do it. That's the whole purpose of me wanting to choreograph is just to make somebody feel a bit better. That's all I
Nice.
want to do.
Any news on when you're going to get to go back to having your class at Lakeside in person?
Not yet, not yet. I mean, constantly listening to the news at the moment. A lot's changing in the UK. It's easing up, but it all depends on whether what they call the R number over here, which is basically like the infection rate. So if that stays down, then personally, I've got it in my mind for perhaps mid-July, maybe August, that hopefully we'll be able to open it back up again. But I'm also conscious, whether people are going to want to be that close together. I think they will. I think if it carries on the way it is, I think people will start to feel a bit more comfortable. But we'll see. I've got everything crossed for late July, August time. I'm hoping, really hoping, and I'm not only just for me, but for a lot of my friends who
Right.
do this for a living. I was speaking to Roy earlier today, and I know he and Fiona are doing loads of volunteer work at the minute, but they've got no income, as has Dan as well, who's stuck at home at the moment. Fred, Shane,
Right.
Rachel, all these people that make a living, that we all enjoy their company and their dances and what they make out of an event, and these great people are stuck at home. So hoping for their sake as well that it really starts to ease up soon.
JP says, and what about starting some competition at Masters?
Starting a competition at Masters. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking that's like some sort of code joke, but I don't really know what he's
Uh,
on about. Starting. Oh, what me to do a competition or to compete?
I don't know.
No,
JP, what are
no,
we
no.
talking about here?
JP, what have you been drinking? You been out on the boat? So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, competing wise, no. No. I don't think competition's really my style. Although I'd love to learn the technique, I just don't think I'd ever do that. I can't wait to meet up with you.
Now you live 20 minutes
Yeah,
away from him. Yeah.
he does. Yeah, Dan
I,
lives down the road from me, so
right.
it's really. We caught up literally. Dan was brilliant. He came over and actually helped me with my garage. I mean, what a nice guy. I was clearing my garage out, um, and he was like, "Oh, I'll come and help you." And we hung out. This was like 3 or 4 days before lockdown, and that was it. And then we've been locked down. I could almost cycle to his house. He's really, really close.
Yeah,
Him and Kat just live just around the corner.
JP says, yeah, he wants you to compete again. And no, he's not drinking on the boat today.
Oh, what actually competing choreography? I don't think I would. I mean, I don't think no, I wouldn't compete in it again. And that's more to the point that it's a bit like, to me, if an X Factor contestant won X Factor and then went back on X Factor again, you'd go, well, why are they doing that? Um, either I can make this continually work
Right.
or it doesn't. And I think leaving it open for other people to have, their opportunity is important. I just need, Nicola and Dave to book me on World Dance Masters. Hashtag, I'll send you my number. Let's get this sorted out.
So obviously, you're bummed that you're not at Marathon right now, which would have been
Marathon,
your
very,
first US teaching
very.
event. Yeah, trust me. We wish we were there too, because right now we'd be sharing a beer and sitting at,
Mm,
getting ready for the first round of demos.
yeah. Oh
Um,
God, scary.
um, what was it like getting that call to come over to finally teach?
What, from Scott?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, really unbelievable, and it was so out of the blue. And to be fair to Scott, he had said to me in the past. In fact, he said to me after I taught at Worlds about coming over and doing a marathon, and he said, I'll be in contact. But again, you just think, it's nice of him to say that. Hopefully it will happen, but you're not. I'm never one to count my chickens. I just don't. Hopefully it will happen. I'll just keep trying to keep positive and keep things going out there, and maybe it will. And I remember I was in the I was in the gym and I nearly hit myself in the face with a with a weight when I saw his name come up on my phone. Um, I was doing rows. So I was like, if you imagine like I was like laid over a bench, like rowing,
Yep.
and I had my phone because I was changing the music track, and it came it, like when it flashes up in the top of your screen, and it was Scott, and it was like, hey, are you free to come to practice? And I literally remember going like, I just dropped this weight. I was like, what? And immediately like, yeah, definitely, I'll be there. Going to give me the dates, blah blah blah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just, I was off the walls about it. It was brilliant. I mean, of all the US events, to me, you've got three big events over in the US. You've got the stuff that Jen runs, you've got the stuff that Mark runs, and then of course you've got the marathon. And to me, to have two of those on the same year, just unbelievable, just
Yep.
unbelievable. So it's actually been really really bittersweet, this the COVID thing, because it's been great because it's meant I've got more time at home, which I don't get a lot what with work and social life. But I've missed two trips to France that I was due to go, and I was due to go to Nat and over to Paris. The marathon. I was due to have a workshop with Kim Ray.
Yep.
And it's sad because this year was going to be quite a big year, and I'm still hopeful for the end of it. I've got one locally in the end of October, and I'm down in Bournemouth, and as just same with you, the classic in
Yep.
December. So yeah, everything crossed, and I'm hoping to come to Windy socially. But again, kind of, I'm holding out just to see
Makes
what the
sense.
travel restrictions are like, and
Yeah, I know. I
hopefully we can
know.
do
Me
it.
and Kelly have had 5 or 6, 7 events already between the dance floor and the video stuff cancel, and we were bummed when Masters canceled our one trip to come over and see you guys every year,
Yeah,
and I was like, ah. So
yeah, and I mean it's and my few cancellations that are just like, oh, that's really upsetting because I was hoping to do something pale in comparison to, as I say, people like Dan, Fred, Shane, people that make a living from it. Every cancellation must feel like
right.
I can only imagine. Can't be fun.
Speaking of World Dance Masters, don't forget to tune in this Sunday. Believe it's right around 12 o'clock UK time, 12 or 1. For Online Dance Radio, they're going to be making the announcement of next year's lineup, as well as a couple surprises that they have planned. So make sure to tune in to Sam and Nicola and Connor for that this weekend on Sunday. I know I'm looking forward to seeing who they got coming over next year. So that's going to be a fun one. Lisa Hopkins asked, "What's up, Lisa?" She was a lucky winner actually last year at the
Oh
experience and
yeah.
won the free pass to this year's experience if it happens. She does have a free pass. Do you have any favorite type of genre of dance, like child, nightclub, hip hop?
Well, I find it easier to do the more funky stuff. It just and actually, funny, Lisa of all people should ask this question. So
Of course it would
Lisa,
be.
Lisa and I go back like way, way, way back. So Lisa actually, at that first club I went to, I met Lisa about 2 weeks after I started dancing. So I've known Lisa a really long time. There was a big section where we lost touch for probably about maybe nearly 10 years, but I've known Lisa forever. And we used to have this really stupid rule because we were only young. We had this stupid rule that you don't learn slow dances. No one does the slow stuff. And I tell you what, my advice to people now is learn it all. Because now, from a choreography perspective, I find the slower stuff a lot harder because I haven't danced it as much as I
Right.
have the funky and the cha-cha and the quicker nightclub stuff. So stuff like waltzes I find really difficult. But I really, and actually, so I'm making myself sound slightly older, but as I've got older, I've really enjoyed the ones I've learned because it's a totally different feeling. Like you can't, like the funky stuff you really attack, whereas the waltz stuff you kind of, it's nice. It's a really nice feeling. But
Right.
yeah, I guess for me, like funky, cha-cha, and sort of West Coast swing naturally feel easier, and I find the steps quicker doing those.
Um, Mary Marie wants to know, can you body roll as good as Lisa Hopkins?
Nearly, nearly. So Lisa's body rolls, right? So body roll, ready? There we go. That's it. That is a Lisa body roll. We have a joke because whenever body roll back, this is body roll back, body roll back. So yeah, nearly. I've been practicing. I've been practicing my body roll back, body roll back. I've been trying. I've been really trying,
Um,
trying to
so
get there.
so what was it like debuting your new dance online and not in person? Because you
Oh
released
man,
your marathon
good,
dance.
good question. That nerve wracking, really nerve wracking because it's with something like marathon. I'm always one to sort of hedge my bets a bit. I think it comes from background in selling. You're like, right, if I've got an opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it.
Right.
And I'd had the vibe in my pocket, as it were, since about February. I heard the music sort of end of last year, and I wrote the dance. I was like, man, this is really cool. And I showed the guys at Lakeside back then, and they were like, that's great. People are going to love it. And obviously, if I were to have taught it in marathon, I've got a closed audience, a big event, and so if I've got a good dance, it's really going to
Right.
take off because all these people are going to see it. Whereas when you're doing it online, you don't know how many people are going to turn up. It's very difficult because you haven't demoed it, haven't listened to the music. It's if they happen to have caught it on their news feed, on their Facebook. So it's quite nerve wracking. So it's actually been really. I've had a really great response from it, which I'm truly thankful for. Um, I was never expecting to get the reception that it did. I mean, it stayed. I think it might even still be in the top 100 in Copper Knob, which anyone that has ever released a dance, they go up, and then after a week, they kind of just
Right.
fall out of it really quickly because it only looks at the last 7 days worth of views. But it's kind of stayed somewhere in the middle. It's not like set the world on fire, but at the same time, it's done a steady pace, which is always actually quite a good sign. Um, if it stays in the top sort of 40 or 50, that's quite cool because it means there's a lot of people looking at it and learning it. So it was different and a bit nerve wracking, and hope that it would go somewhere and not just end up as another choreographed dance that's just kind of disappeared into the ether, because
Right.
there's a lot of those between all the people you know having a go. But yeah, it's done really well, and the online teaching is different. It's really different. It's a bizarre thing.
Um, so if you could only have one, which would it be? A Crystal Boot Award or a number one ranking in the world in Fortnite?
Oh mate, Crystal Boot. Crystal Boot. I mean, I'm crap at
Yeah,
Fortnite.
but that's why I asked if you have the number one ranking in the world because
Yeah, but
they make some good
nah,
money.
I'm not worried about that. You would make some money, but it would mean I'd play it to chat with you boys and have a bit of a laugh. That's really I just play it so we can have a bit of a chat and a bit of a laugh.
I don't know.
Playing with probably what is
Kelly
a
sits
fat.
back and listens to us and just goes, "You boys are a little crazy."
Yeah, I mean we're probably playing with like 10-year-olds, but it's a laugh. No man, Crystal Boot all the way. That to me is I would love that. I'm sure anybody that's choreographed a dance or anything
Agreed.
along a Crystal Boot is like that would be great. But
JP
watching
says you're
Maggie,
fired out of the team.
I am the team. All right, I am the team. Um,
No,
I
I
mean
agree. I'm in the
watching
team too,
Maggie.
and I would probably take a Crystal Boot award.
Mm,
Daniel said he's playing now. See you in 10.
yeah, mate, you will. I need to wind down. What was I going to say to you? Maggie, yesterday, just really quickly, when you said, how many boots have you got? And she's like, I don't know,
I
30.
know.
She had 30 boots. She
Right.
could she could shoe a centipede. I'm like, I just one would be wonderful.
Yeah, I can imagine if she had them all on the mantle, it'd be like boof everywhere. I'm like, that's a lot.
Man, and a double boot as well. A double boot. That sounds so cool. So cool.
So, any advice you'd give for up and coming people that want to get into choreography, trying to get noticed?
It, yeah, I guess. I mean, to me, I very much still feel like I'm trying to find my place in this world and make my way. But my advice would be, Darren gave me a really great bit of advice actually, that stuck with me at the very beginning, which is don't put out loads and loads of dances. Just do one good one, and promote that. And what all choreographers and I would say, when you say a good one, it's not necessarily what you think other people think is going to be great. It's what you feel is great, because the ones that have done really well for me are ones where I've gone, "Oh, I like that. I really, like Magusta, the vibe, strip that down, hot stepping. They're all stuff like, oh yeah, I feel this in the music, feel that in the music, and I feel that sometimes people will take a track and they'll go, I really want to put in, like, I don't know, like a kick will change. I really want to put in this move and that move, and they'll like force it in, and then it just doesn't feel natural. My advice would be, if you're dancing it and you think, where do I go next? And it feels unnatural. You're not naturally stepping into that next move, be that a turn or a shuffle, or whatever it is. It's probably the wrong thing to put right there. It's not to say you can't put it in the dance, but you need to find something that makes it feel like it's flowing. So yeah, that would be not too many dances, and dance it and be honest with yourself. Does it feel like it's flowing or not?
Yeah, I got asked a lot when JP and Daniel and Jose asked me to teach on Streamline. Of course, I said yes because I wanted the opportunity, and everyone was like Trevor and everyone was like, "Why did you pick a dance that was almost 4 years old?" And I'm like, "It's one I competed back in 2017, and I thought that I did really well on, and I wanted to teach it."
Yeah,
That's plain and
exactly.
simple what I said. I go, I liked it, I enjoyed it. I go, I never competed again because it followed all the rules, but I'm like, screw it.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, you really, I've just seen Darren say, "Boom." That he's right. Darren is absolutely
Yep.
right. Listen to Darren. Don't just bash out a load of dances. It's the thing is as well that
You hear
my
that?
other bit of advice. Say again.
I was about to say, you hear that, Amy? Listen to Darren. Five Guys is better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
In and Out.
Listen to Darren.
Five Guys is better than In and
I
Out.
can't.
Listen to Darren.
I need to come and eat a both, and then I'll tell you. But another really, really, really small bit of advice that I was getting into with the multiple stuff, and I've completely forgotten where I'm going. See, don't drink alcohol. Bad for you. But anyway, advice that Darren gave is absolutely right. Don't smash out loads of dances. Just do one. Take your time. It will be fine.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on the show. It was an awesome chat.
Thank you.
I
Thank
always
you.
get enjoy when me and you actually get to sit down and talk. And I
Yes, mate.
wanted everyone in the
Same,
world to
mate.
get to see what I see when we talk. So I was glad to bring you on. Thank you everyone out there who joined me. Hope everyone had a good time. Um, Tomorrow I have JP Potter, not Maj, Trevor Thornton, and Tim Perez coming on. We're going to talk about another roundtable like we did last week. We're going to talk about getting younger people into line dancing. That way we can continue on and we don't die. Pretty much is what the topic is. Why we can keep line dancing going. Not like physically die. You see over there laughing, Tim. I'm not going to physically die, but like keep line
No,
dancing
don't please
going,
don't.
especially at dance events. That way we all constantly have that younger crowd coming up, the next generation. So, if you haven't yet, like I said, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and see you tomorrow, guys. Same time, same channel.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
Take care, Kelly.